Journey podcast is brought to you by Tascam and Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead. You asked for a non-scripted paranormal TV show. You begged for a non-staged paranormal TV show. You begged and you pleaded, and we have listened. We present to you Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It was released October 31st, 2017. In this series, we show you what it's like behind the scenes and conducting a real paranormal investigation. Join Gavin Kelly, Paul and their special guests to seek out the existence of life after death by going to numerous haunted locations such as jails, hospitals, battlefields, and museums, collecting compelling evidence by means of video, photography, and EVPs. In this season, the crew investigates the St. Albans Sanatorium, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the famed Monroe House. And you can watch Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown on Amazon.com right now. Season 2 and 3 will be coming soon.
And good evening and welcome to the Phantasmic Journey podcast. We are coming to you live from the PGH studios here in downtown Paducah, Kentucky. I am your host, Gavin Kelly, and I'm sitting right there. Let's try that again, but sitting right next to me is my lovely wife, Paula Kelly. And syndication is brought to you in part by Live 365 and iHeartRadio. And you can listen live via the web by going to http://streaming.live365.com/A00036. But if you're like me and you have an Android phone, just go to the Google Play Store, look up the Live 365 app, install it, run it, search for WGKC, Today's Hottest Country. And if you have an iPhone, same thing. Go to the App Store, look for the Live 365 app, install it, run it, search for WGKC, Today's Hottest Country. Now, I bet you're wondering why WGKC, Today's Hottest Country. Well, to answer that question, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., I am the DJ for a country music radio station. Pretty cool, huh? Well, let's not get too sidetracked here. We have an incredible guest tonight, a close personal friend of ours. She was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and is very proud of her roots. She lived all over in those years before marrying the love of her life in 1984. After getting married, they moved to Kansas City area, where they have lived ever since, growing their family. They now have 4 daughters, 2 grandchildren, and the 2 love to travel. Seems they have paranormal experiences at most places that they go. They were tour guides at the infamous Sally House in Atchison, Kansas. They are now volunteers for the beautiful McPike Mansion in Alton, Illinois. She's working on many paranormal projects, including her weekly radio show, The Paranormal Pride. And I'm talking about our good friend, Denise Pridemore. How are you doing this evening, Denise?
Oh, hi. I'm fine. How are you guys tonight?
We're doing pretty good.
Hoping we don't get our butts kicked by a storm.
Well, you know, if you do, we'll just mark it up to all the crap that follows me around.
Oh, man. So, it's been a while since we've talked to you. I mean, we had you on the show, last year, I think, or so, something like that. And then, of course, we saw you.
I didn't think it was.
Huh?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah.
I was trying to think exactly when it was. It was sometime last year.
Yeah, it was last year. And then we met up over at the Haunted Con in Dogpatch, USA.
Yes, we did. That was an interesting location.
Tell me about it. And now it's gone, and we can never go there again.
I don't know if that's a major loss.
I'm just kind of shocked. I was just like, wow, seriously? Did somebody buy it or something, or nobody bought it?
Nobody has bought it yet. It's got a bunch of back taxes on it because the investment group that bought it never kept the upkeep on the taxes and everything on it, so it's going to go as a tax sale.
Oh.
And so I don't know exactly what's going to proceed. I heard that it was going to be It was going to be on the tax market, but right before the whole coronavirus thingy started happening. Yeah, and then I think it got postponed because of all this. So I don't know what the final downplay is on it.
I don't know.
Well, good luck getting rid of the squatters.
Yeah, that's going to be a little weird. So, we haven't talked in a while, so what have you been up to lately?
Oh, really just trying to we had an interesting time last year. Of course, we went out and we did a few things. We went traveling, and we looked at some houses in Florida and things like that. And then this year, well, we got sick back in December, January time frame.
Oh.
We think we actually had the virus back then. But I've been dealing with a few health issues, so I've been sitting at home. Of course, I work from home, so it's not a big change.
Right.
But we investigated Malvern Manor again. That was our 4th time there. And we stopped by Villisca Axe Murder House at some point last year. And let's see. Oh, we've been trying to do a few things, but of course, we're on lockdown here in Kansas, and it is what it is. I mean, we do have multiple graveyards in our town that we could probably go and check out if we wanted to, or multiple Civil War sites we could go to if they let us in.
Yeah.
But, if they're run by the Park Service, they're closed.
Yeah, I've been, I don't know if you noticed, I've been on my soapbox on my page, letting people know that, I mean, I understand that, a lot of people are in their homes, they're just going totally ballistic, and they want to get out. Well, the thing is, if you have, say, Joe Blow decides to go out, and be careful, you can knock my laptop on the floor. If you have, like, Joe Blow decides to go out and investigate a location, then, it's basically showing that, hey, everybody else can do it too, because it's okay. If he can do it, then I can do it. And then you have 2 people doing it, and 3 people, and then 4. And then you'll have people trying to do events, and it's just basically... It's an easy way of spreading the virus around. I mean, the way you look at it, if one person has it and you're in a room with people, you can give it to 2. They'll give it to 6. Those 6 will give it to 12. I mean, it just keeps on spreading like a pyramid effect. A lot of people don't understand that.
And then New York City.
Yeah.
And so, but Iowa hasn't been put on shutdown.
Really?
So that means Malvern Manor can still be doing not events, but investigations. And I don't know if they are, but technically they haven't closed down anything in Iowa.
Wow.
So, and, it is what it is. You know, people are going to do what people are going to do.
Oh, of course.
But, we were supposed to have an investigation next weekend at a graveyard in Missouri, and it wasn't going to be more than 10 of us, but we have me that could have, we know I've had a collapse lung and some other things due to mold. We know that I'm at risk.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? The other people are older than I am, and they could be at risk from me, because we don't know what I got last Saturday when I went to the grocery store.
Right.
At this point. So, we decided that we were all going to cancel that, and we're just going to reschedule it for later on. And there was supposed to be the UFO conference, the Ozarks, Missouri, Ozarks conference down in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. We were supposed to meet friends down there. They moved that to the same weekend as Gettysburg Battlefield Bash.
Oh, wow.
But for people that don't know, if a virus is bad enough to move the Kentucky Derby, which is over 150 years old now.
September.
If it's bad enough to move the Kentucky Derby, the Belmont, and the Preakness, then stay at home.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
we had to go ahead and postpone all of our filming for season 2 of Truth or Legends in Your Hometown. I mean, we had a lot of places that we were supposed to be going to these past couple months and meeting a bunch of teams, but unfortunately, we can't do it. We're not going to jeopardize those teams. We don't want to jeopardize their team members. We don't want to jeopardize ourselves. So we just said we're just going to postpone it until, I don't know, end of June maybe. I really don't know, because we don't even know when it's going to peak for us.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't know how bad it is in Kentucky. I I keep looking over at Pike County, of course, because that's where my family is.
Right.
But for all I saw was that there was only a couple, 3 cases over there. In our county, we have 2.
Yeah.
And
we have
they're 60 and 70 years old.
We have 12 and 1 death in our county.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the map. I have it on my laptop here. As of April 8th, 2020 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we had 21,620 people tested, 1,346 for positive, and we have 75 deaths in Kentucky.
Oh, we have 1,008 in Kansas.
Gosh.
And 38 deaths, and less than 10,000 people have been tested.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, and the bulk of ours are in Kansas City, the county surrounding Kansas City, and then Wichita. And Wichita is not as bad as Kansas City area. They're doing a much better job of containing.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Yes, it's unprecedented. Yes, it's unusual. And the big question is how are the spirits going to behave when we all come back and start poking them again?
Oh, I know, right? No
idea.
idea.
Are they enjoying this and kind of relaxing and going, finally, those people are gone. They're living. They're annoying.
Well, besides that, they're not going to have that much energy. They have nothing to draw from.
But again, they may be drawing from all the energy that we're all putting out, because there's a lot of people putting out a lot of negative energy.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the, being stuck at home and all that other stuff. So it's just really very odd when you think about it. But, some people are going, hey, the veil is thinning. And it's like, well, you guys say that every Halloween, and I don't see anything different. Maybe it truly is now.
Yeah.
Maybe it truly is, because we have so many people crossing over. But the thing is we also have people that are dying just from the regular flu, and they're probably being counted in those same numbers. I think some people are being counted in those numbers that probably shouldn't be, but it's still not as bad as
New
back
York.
in, the flu back in 1918, where 25 million people worldwide died in 25 weeks.
The Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Oh, the Spanish flu?
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about that for a second. 25 million people in 25 weeks. 1 million people a week died.
Wow.
So that's basically half of our planet at that time period.
Half the population, yeah.
So I was doing some research today on it, and, we've had about 35 million people die from AIDS. And did you know yellow fever is still a thing?
Oh, yeah.
That people are still dying from yellow fever in Africa? So, and that number continues to grow. So it's just amazing when you think about things like that, because you can't contain mosquitoes. You can't tell people to stay in your house and don't let the mosquitoes in. It's not going to happen.
Right.
The little boogers can figure it out. I think they squeeze through your screens.
I mean,
but,
probably baby ones, yeah, and then they just grow up inside your house, and then they bite the shit out of you.
I mean, cases of tuberculosis still exist, but it's more treatable now than it was 60 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got tested for that when when I got that lung nodule. They tested me for it, and I was like, I've never been exposed to it. Why would I suddenly have it? Well, it's a standard test. We got to do it to everybody.
Yeah.
And so, okay, whatever. But I said, I know it's going to be negative.
Yeah, it was a weird test when they had to do it to me when I was working as IT at the Lourdes Hospital. It's like they pushed a needle on it, and then they just made a puff of, I don't know, like a bubble on my arm. Yeah. I'm like, what the heck? So we're just testing to see if you have tuberculosis. I'm like, you mean the stuff in Waverly Hills? No. Lady looked at me, she's like, Waverly Hills?
I've been tested before.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran a daycare, so I was tested before, and so I knew I didn't have it, but they still had to check, and and there's other forms of tuberculosis, like Lady Windermere syndrome, which is treatable by antibiotics and stuff. My sister had that, but it's still a form of tuberculosis, and it's still seen out there a lot. I mean, it's more common than people think, but. Of course, in my family, we get all the rare weird stuff, so it doesn't matter.
The rare weird stuff. Okay.
Well, had you ever heard of a lung nodule before?
I was
hadn't.
kind of thinking that's like a nozzle or something, like a valve, right?
Is that
Well, it's a nodule.
Is it like
Nodule.
Oh, it's not a nozzle. Oh, it's a nodule.
No, nodule.
Nodule.
And
is that like scar tissue?
it's it's turning into a rock is what it's turning into. It's calcifying in my lung.
Oh.
But Paula, you've had pleurisy a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That's her. Yeah,
it's in
she
the
does.
same place where you get pleurisy.
Gotcha.
Because I've had pleurisy a lot. And so if you're around a lot of mold, it can quite possibly be misdiagnosed as pleurisy.
Oh, wow. All I know is if I come down with this or something similar and they run tests on me, they're going to right away think I have it because I've had the histoplasmosis. So I've already got scar tissue on my lungs, and they may jump to conclusions.
You've had
mine
histo
is,
and blasto.
Yeah, and
mine
blastome.
is interesting. Yeah, mine is interesting. I've been being tested. They tested me for cancer.
Mm-hmm.
They did that's how my lung collapsed. They did a lung biopsy on it, and it grew between September 4th and September 18th, with a Vegas trip in the middle there. Okay, and I had a fever, all kinds of stuff. Didn't know what was wrong. They kept telling me, "Oh, you have an upper respiratory infection. Oh, you have bronchitis. Oh, you have this."
Mm-hmm.
Finally, I went to the ER and I said, "I'm going to Vegas. My daughter's pregnant. I can't get her sick. So what are we going to do?" And they did a lung X-ray, and there was nothing there. Okay. We come back from Vegas about 4 or 5 days later. I'm sitting there, and I work from home, so I pull up my computer and I start doing my stuff, and I just take a big yawn, and I go, "Oh," and Ron goes, "What's wrong?" And I go, "It feels like somebody stabbed me in the back."
Ooh.
And I didn't say anything more. I just finished what I was doing, and he left for work. And then a little bit later, I said, I called him, told him, "Hey, I'm going to the doctor. Not a big deal." I said, "They'll probably tell me I have bronchitis again."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I think it's pleurisy, but let me go and see what's going on." So when I get to the doctor, they do an X-ray and they look at it and they go, "Hey, we want to send you over to diagnostic imaging before we give you any medication or tell you what it is, just to be on the safe side because we've been giving you the runaround." In that amount of time, they went back over all my records for the last 4 years, every lung X-ray to see if they missed anything.
Oh, wow.
And so while I head on over, they don't tell me anything.
Right.
They just tell me, "Go get this checked out over there," because they didn't think they thought that they were missing something.
Mm-hmm.
So they send me over there for a CAT scan, and the doctor's calling me. I live 27 miles from the doctor's office. No, I live 22 miles from the doctor's office. And I had already gotten lunch, came home, and started working. When the doctor calls me and says, "You didn't happen to go home, did you?" I go, "Yeah, I did." They go, "Can you come in?" I said, "Yeah, it'll take me about, 30 minutes. I was there in like 15.
Right.
Because they wouldn't tell me anything. So when they wouldn't tell me anything, I knew it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Ron. He was in Lawrence, Kansas. And he goes, "I'll meet you there." He figured he'd get there about the same time as me.
Right.
And not with Leadfoot Denise. So needless to say, by the time he gets there, she's just starting to tell me what's going on. And I have no clue what all this is because I refuse to let, WebMD tell me I've got Crohn's disease, cancer, things like that. So I refused to look it up while I was waiting. And I think I'd already had the tuberculosis test before Ron got there. But, yeah, it was one of those weird things that I didn't know how to even think about this. And the only, it took them from, September I had the biopsy, and they didn't think there was any, a week later I'm having a biopsy from the 18th to the 25th. Mm-hmm. 3 days later, of course, I'm in the hospital with a collapsed lung because, everybody was at Ashmore Estates going, "Where's Denise?" And so we go and do all this stuff. They didn't even know what caused it until December. So I went from September to December without knowing what in the heck caused it. And they go, "Oh, it's Aspergillus mold." That was the only thing that came back on all of this, and that has come back in October.
That was highly detailed.
I
said that was a highly detailed name. Usually it would just be mold. They even have a name for it.
It's like a blue-white mold. And so it's like under leaves and things like that, but it's very common in places that have a lot of moisture, of course.
Okay.
And I'd seen this mold before. After I researched the mold, it's like, okay, well, I know where I got this. And they go, yeah, it's caused from long-term mold exposure. Well, I don't have mold in my house.
Right.
I don't go out in my yard. I don't have enough trees to make enough leaves for me to get enough mold under them. I let the leaves stay there till the wind blows them away, and we're done, So I don't rake. And so I knew I didn't get it from something natural. And so it had to be from someplace that we were spending a lot of time at over the years.
Right.
And that's what it was. And so that was the only thing we could figure out, is that I got it from the Sally house.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah. So now every time we go someplace, I have my, at this point, I have an N95 mask. Everybody knows what those are.
Oh, yeah.
I have one of those that I take with me every place we go, so that I can walk around and enjoy everything, and people think I'm being snooty.
You're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, it could kill me.
Yeah.
At this point. But I have one more test before they consider me to be cancer-free. Even though I didn't have any cancer, at that point when I have that last test in September, as long as it comes back that it's solidified completely, calcified completely, they'll say I don't have cancer and I can stop going for tests.
Yeah, when I got, you remember the story. We wound up going to Bobby Mackey's, and I had to go outside because my throat clogged. It just started to close. I couldn't breathe. My chest was hurting real bad. About passed out. And when I went to the hospital, they basically just asked what my symptoms were, and they saw that I was having trouble breathing, and I was clutching my chest. And right away, they're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and put you in a room. And they wound up, doing the whole procedure, putting me in a room. And next thing you know, they wheeled me up to the cancer side of the building.
Yeah, I remember that. You were scared to death.
Oh, yeah, so was Paula. Yeah. And, I mean, they misdiagnosed me and right away sent me to the cancer ward. And that's the reason why I'm saying if I do come down with, like, a fever or bronchitis or pneumonia and they check me out, they're right away going to jump to conclusions, think that I have the virus when they look at my lungs, because I do have that scar tissue. I've got that for life.
Oh, yeah. I have it all over my records that I have this. But, from the... I had told you this before, but from the surgery when they did the biopsy, I thought I had issues from being intubated. It was not. It was, I was coughing so hard when I had the collapsed lung that I gave myself a hernia. And so the hernia is the reason why my voice has changed over the last 2 years.
Right, right.
So who knew acid reflux could change your voice?
Yeah. Well, I've been having that for the past couple days.
Surgery.
Yeah, I've been having that for the past couple days. Bad acid reflux, and it doesn't make sense. All I've been eating is salad, drinking lemonade, and...
lemonade.
You think the lemonade gives me acid reflux?
Yes, they told me not to have any citrus.
Oh.
And it could also be your salad dressing.
I used Thousand Island.
Okay, well, there's no garlic in that. Do you use croutons?
No.
Okay, well, then you should be fine on that. It's the lemonade.
Huh. I was drinking that because I'm trying to wean myself off of Mountain Dew because, we drink Mountain Dew like it's water.
That's all I drink anymore is water. I used to drink when I saw you last, I was drinking my Coke Life.
Mm-hmm.
Helps now that they don't make Coke Life anymore, but I stopped drinking Coke Life a few months ago. No, February 4th. I haven't had a soda since.
Oh, wow.
And I drink basically just water and flavored water. So I think I'd have lost some weight, but doesn't, no. You will. You stop drinking soda, you'll lose weight. Me and Paula stop drinking soda, we'll gain weight.
She's over here laughing.
She knows I'm right.
Well, I don't know. I have a fast metabolism, so I'm still the same weight I was when you saw me at Dog Patch.
Well, I can't say that about me.
Oh, man.
They got me on a bunch of new medication I think has screwed up my metabolism.
Probably.
Well, I'm just glad that you're doing better because you had food poisoning so bad, Paula.
Oh, yeah.
On top of pleurisy. That one time.
Yeah.
See, and it doesn't help that we were in a place that was wet the whole time.
Yeah.
I had hot hands with me. It was May, and I had hot hands, but I was prepared.
Huh. That was crazy.
I was cold. Yeah, I was cold that whole time. So, and then after that, you guys also lost your dog.
Yeah.
It wasn't long after. Wasn't it right after that trip?
Yeah, about a week later.
Yeah, we took him to OSR. That was the last place he got to go.
Oh. Well, I know how much you guys loved that dog.
Oh, yeah.
I felt so bad that he passed, and
yeah,
because he was so cute.
Oh, yeah. Well, Cheryl, what the heck was her last name? Smith, I think it is. She goes, can I walk the dog? And I'm like, sure, go ahead. Well, I was behind her, and she's walking. Bocephus is just running on down the corridor to the cells and stops at the one in solitary confinement and runs underneath the bed, the same place where the dude was folded in half and shoved under the bed.
Oh.
He went straight there. He could have went to any other cell, but he picked that one.
Well, see, he was a very good paranormal dog.
Oh, yeah.
He could tell exactly if something was down that hallway. We're not going.
Like Post Town?
Yeah, it's like, nope, we're not doing it. I'm sitting right here. I see what's on the other end. You guys might not see it, but I do, and I'm not going down there.
Yeah, he whimpered at Post Town Elementary. I was taking him down the hall, and he just said, and he just looked at me, and he kind of sat down. It was kind of like you wind up dragging the dog, and he just like, I don't want to, no, I'm not going. And he just took off the other direction. He saw something down that hallway that we didn't see.
Oh, yeah. He was a stout little dog.
Oh, yeah. He was pretty smart, but yet he was kind of dumb.
He was special.
Bulldogs are
He
like
was special.
He was special.
Yeah. But we miss him. We now have a big guy that chews everything in the house. He's a goat. We call him the goat.
Yeah, he was a Christmas present from my daughter.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, it's time for y'all to have a doggy. Here, have a puppy. Yeah, well, we thought we were getting a black lab. Come to find out, we have a black lab Great Dane mix, according to our vet. And I'm like, oh, awesome. I look up information, and I said, you might as well get prepared to buy a saddle for this thing.
Yep.
And Paula will be riding it.
Yeah, she's about the height for it. Yep. But
That's what I was saying.
Oh my God, the stuff that he chews. I bought him a rope toy with a tennis ball that was in the center of the rope. The rope was there, the tennis ball was gone. And he passed it the next day, but still.
Oh, things disappear, and I have to walk around behind him to check his shit. I mean...
to see if it comes out.
You're going... Because I'm on panic mode. I call the vet all the time. The vet goes, well, here, we're going to prescribe you some stuff just to keep at home. So when he does this stuff, you can give it to him, and it'll help him pass it. And we'll give you some antibiotics so make sure it doesn't cause any kind of bacterial infection in his stomach. Because he eats everything. He ate a stick.
He did.
He ate leaves. He ate bark off of a tree. And I'm over here going, this dog's going to be dead before he's a year old because of all the crap he's eating, and it's not my fault.
I know how dogs can be. We have our grand puppy.
Oh.
Will eat anything, and it's a Chinese crested Pomeranian mix. So it's 9 pounds of terror.
Oh, wow.
And it will eat eat its weight in junk food or beer.
Or
Beer.
beer.
Dog loves beer. And
Well, I had a basset
there's
hound when
anything-
kids were little that loved whiskey.
Oh, jeez. A dog that loves whiskey.
well, why not? But, this dog, if we let her go, if the kids had any food hidden in their rooms, she would find it.
Oh, no.
Like plates under the bed, things like that kids do. And I would have to tell them, you guys didn't put this up. Oh, she ate my candy. Well, you should have had it someplace where she couldn't get it. You knew she was coming. Like, you guys know.
Well,
And
the thing is with ours,
she moved to Vegas, though.
yeah, the thing with ours, I can go, what I think I should do is shove a broom handle right up his butt and then just push him across the floor because he's like a Hoover vacuum cleaner. Anything in front of him, he's like sniffing away and eating it.
Oh, yeah, he's already damaged my head.
Your choke chest.
Oh, God. I
ate
have
the-
a Hope chest that's almost 100 years old, and he went after it, and I was so mad at him
Ate the
all
handle.
day. I locked him in his cage. I said, you can stay there till your daddy gets home. I'm done with you.
He ate a metal bookshelf that hasn't even been put together. He went through the cardboard box and ate the metal poles.
Okay, I can do one better.
Uh-oh.
And we had this cat, okay?
Uh-oh.
The same time I was going through all the stuff with the nodule in my lung, right before we left for Vegas, okay, Ron and I look like, oh, you don't even want to know. The cat turned around and he bit Ron in the face,
Oh,
okay? And Ron had flu-like symptoms, so we took him to the doctor,
right.
okay? A couple days before, I had been in the ER, and they blew my vein, okay? So you can just imagine, Ron looks like somebody beat him up. I look like at the airport, you can't wear a jacket. We're
Right.
going through the thing, through security, and I look like I was a heroin addict, and
Oh,
Ron
jeez.
looked like he was my pimp. And they pulled us aside because they said that I had paper on me, which I didn't. It was my jeans at my knees were, it made a little crease. Ron had napkins in his pocket. We didn't know, but it was horrible at that. Well, that cat, while we were in Vegas, Leah found it a home with our daughter Lacey. And I told Lacey, I said, you don't want that cat, because the cat eats boxes. I mean, at least he eats boxes. I know that. And he ate her blinds.
Oh,
They were metal blinds at her apartment. He ate her bookshelf. She goes, it's new furniture, and he's eating it. And she goes, he waits until I go to bed at night, and then he eats it. And it was horrible. And this was just a cat.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, going, a cat eating metal and wood, that just doesn't look right to me.
Only thing our cat does is
Well,
torment the dog.
he's a happy farm cat now. Somewhere. I have no clue where, because we were his first home. Lacey was his second home.
No.
He went to another home and another home after that. So he's now a farm cat. We couldn't get the cat to go outside when he was here. So I still have a sister, but she doesn't do that. But yeah, that cat was a lost cause.
Oh, my God.
His name was Sam. We had Sam and Dee, because his sister's a girl. So Sam and Dee. We all know why.
Yeah, he just needs to stop. Holy crap. I mean,
He will.
Yeah, and when he's a year old, maybe? You be quiet.
Yeah, maybe.
He's looking at my
Stop talking
speaker.
about me.
He's looking at my speaker going,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. His head is already over my speaker looking at us. And the speakers are at least 3 foot tall.
And he's only 6 months old.
Yes.
You guys are in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to need a trailer behind your trailer for the dog.
No, actually, if we keep our truck, he's got the whole back seat.
Well, we're looking at possibly getting an SUV, a small SUV this summer. He can have the whole back end as long as he doesn't chew it up.
You know he'll chew it up.
I won't have a back seat.
Yeah, that's why I'd rather put
Well,
him
then
in the
you
back
have
of
to
the
get
truck.
that rubber stuff to put over it so you can chew on the rubber.
Or spray everything with Tabasco sauce. I don't know if he likes that or not.
I don't know.
Get down from
You may
there.
not like smelling it.
I don't know. He smells his own crap, so I mean that stuff stinks. That is just.
Well, we had a dog that would eat everything. So one time, I mean, he would take it out of the kids' hands and all. It was a golden retriever, and Ron one time says, "Watch him. He'll eat anything. As soon as it hits the floor, he won't even think about it. He won't smell it or nothing. He'll just eat it."
Ew.
So Ron was having nachos one night, and he gave it a jalapeno, and he stopped after that. He sniffed everything after that, but it took a little bit to get him to stop doing that. He did slow way down. Ron's laughing about it now.
That sounds like fun. I'll spray everything with a jalapeno spray.
Oh, yeah. But, this was before I canned my own. Now they'd be even hotter.
Oh. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he would do it.
Probably. He'd do it once, at least.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I am very thankful that he has not learned how to chew W-I-R-E's S's yet.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Because I got tons of those.
You got a lot of those in your house.
Oh, yeah. Well, the cat, he is a straight-up Garfield.
He's a fat ass.
He's a fat ass.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fat ass who likes to pester the dog. That's
The dog is Odie, and the cat is Garfield.
I would say a PETA. The cat's a PETA.
And the funny thing is, he's a big dog, and the cat scares the shit out of him. He runs.
Oh yeah, dogs are usually scared of cats. Dogs will run up to a cat and think, "Oh, you're great. I like you." Their tail wagging and all that, and it's the cat that's the pain.
Yeah,
they'll treat him bad.
He would go ahead and just bop him on the head. Next thing you know, he's like, "Oh, what the? Hey!" Oh man. So, let's get on down to business here, and we'll let our listeners learn a little bit about you. Like,
they already know my history now.
Oh, I know, right? They know about both of our medical history, don't they?
And about our animals.
And about our dog eating everything under the sun.
Yep.
What is in your mouth? Where did he get foam from?
I don't know.
Oh my God, he's got foam in his mouth. Black foam. Where the hell did he get foam? I know.
Probably one of the inserts out of your cases.
Oh no, he's chewing on my speaker.
You called it.
God. Is he chewing my speaker?
I don't know what he's doing or where it came from.
Slap him upside the head. There you go.
No.
So anyway, back to what we were talking about while she beats the dog. When did you become interested in the paranormal?
I had my first experience when I was 4, but sometimes you can't take a 4-year-old's word for stuff.
Oh yeah.
Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that they're imagining things and stuff like that.
Imaginary friends.
Have really active imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an out-of-body experience when I was 4, and I had witnessed. Okay, I lived in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother and grandfather lived in Baltimore, Maryland. And I did not know that my grandmother had been killed in a car accident. And I got up and I told my parents, I said that Grandpa killed Grandma.
Oh.
And they go, "No, that's not true." The phone rings, and it's my grandfather telling him that my grandmother had passed away in a car accident, that she had died as a cause of the accident.
Right.
And I said, "No, that's not true. Grandpa twisted her neck."
Ooh.
And I was told to shut my mouth. Okay? That I didn't know what I was talking. I was 4 years old. I probably just had a dream, Well, it happened again when I was 10. And it was when I witnessed my father's murder.
Oh.
But I was 17 to 19 miles away, depending upon how you drive. And it was, I could tell them everything that happened. So I got up that morning and I go in the kitchen and I noticed that my dad's girlfriend's in our kitchen, which she used to be my mom's best friend. We'll leave it at that. Long story. And I proceed to tell them that Dad had died, and and exactly how he died, and his final words. Well, my mother did not know what my dad's final words were because my dad's girlfriend didn't tell my mother.
Oh.
But she said that I was right on everything.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So years later, I bring this information to an uncle who was there and witnessed it as well, tell him everything that I saw, and he said, yes, that's exactly how it happened. Of course, that uncle won't talk to me now, but mostly he didn't talk to me from the time I was 10 until about 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So, because he didn't know where I was. We were in hiding because my grandfather had murdered my dad.
Right.
And my mom didn't want us to be found. So we had unlisted phone numbers. You know, you couldn't do a whole lot to hide back then besides have an unlisted phone number. You know, so your information wasn't in the phone book, so they couldn't find you. And since my grandfather only did 4 years in jail for involuntary manslaughter, he got away with it, basically. And but again, I witnessed all of it, and I was right. I mean, there were paranormal experiences between 4 and 10, but these are the two that stick out that actually got me more involved and I realized between those ages I could see spirits and I could talk to them. You know, even my younger sister, she had an imaginary friend that she beat back into the wall with a hammer.
Beat back into the wall?
Yeah, she said he came out of the wall and she didn't like what he had to say, so she used a hammer, tore up the wall in our house in New Jersey by putting him back. Did she really witness something? I don't know. Because, you know, if it's your imaginary friend, and sometimes those spirits will only show themselves to the people they want them to see.
Yeah.
See them. So, and yeah, we had spirits in that house, but I don't think it was the same one because I still saw the spirits in the house after Judy did that. But she said she didn't see her imaginary friend anymore after that.
Okay.
So it was weird. I mean, it's a family story that went on for a long time, but she doesn't remember it.
Huh.
So she was probably, she was probably 3.
I don't even remember anything when I was 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a lot of things, but I don't know if it's more people telling me about those experiences. You know, my mom going, hey, this is what happened when you were 2, or do I really remember it? You know, because sometimes it's very vivid. So I also have a lot of lucid dreaming. And, you know, sometimes I wake up and I'm pissed at Ron because it's so real. You know, that kind of stuff.
He likes that one, doesn't he?
He doesn't like that. He's had some of those dreams too, where they've been kind of real. He's woke up mad at me, but it's, you know, seeing spirits is one thing. Can you talk to them? Yeah, sometimes, but I don't say I'm a medium. I never will. You know, if I see them, I'll tell you. If I don't, I won't. And a lot of times I won't say anything even if I do see them because I don't want people to think I'm a nut job.
So you wouldn't consider yourself a sensitive or an empath either?
Well, I am an empath.
There you go.
Am I sensitive? You know, sometimes I'm insensitive. That's the problem.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm really rude. Let's say that. Sometimes I'm not very sensitive to the living around me. Right. But the dead, a lot of times, I'm more sensitive to them than I am the living. And this is really sucky now because, you know, I've always been an extrovert, and now I don't feel like that anymore.
I know Paula is an empath and a sensitive.
Yeah, I've gotten to some places I have to leave because it
messes with your head.
Emotionally messes with my head.
Yeah.
So, Paula, how are you dealing with all the feelings that are going around about the virus?
Well...
And she's home, too.
Yeah, I'm home. I've been home since March 20th. It has been interesting. It's been interesting. I mean, for me, being at home 24, I'm one of those, I have to be outside the house all the time. And for me to be...
All the time?
Well, at least 5 days a week I'm outside the house. On a normal day.
Oh.
And for me to be at home, it's kind of... It gets depressing.
She watches Vampire Diaries all day.
Vampire Diaries. I find all my old...
her husband.
I find all my old shows that I haven't seen like in 10 or 15 years, and I pull them up, and he's like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, well, you're going to like it, I promise you. So I got him addicted to Vampire Diaries.
I was rearranging the stuff in the studio and putting guitars on the wall, and she's watching Golden Girls.
Hey,
Well, you know, it's going to be there one day.
She's going to be a Sophia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to be a Sophia.
At least as long as I'm not Blanche, I'm good.
Oh, gosh.
I'd be a Blanche.
You be a Blanche!
Sophia's hilarious. She goes, just like clockwork. Every morning, 9 o'clock, I pee. But I don't get out of bed until 10. I love it.
She was the youngest one of the Golden Girls.
Which is really bizarre, right?
Yeah. So, I used to love that show. It was way before its time, and it's hard to believe that Betty White's the only one that's still alive.
I know.
Oh, I know, right? They always put all those memes out, but Betty White is still alive.
Yeah.
You gotta
Alive or dead? They
Ditsy
put a Betty
from
White
St.
and go,
Olaf.
alive.
Hey, she could be an impersonator, someone that really looks like her.
Well, it's just like, she's just going to be like George Burns.
Oh,
George
yeah.
Burns lived to be, 103 or 104 or something like that?
Something
Bob
like that.
Hope was 103,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe.
Yeah, he was.
And so, it could happen. I mean, I don't know if she drinks. Or, I don't think she's ever smoked. I mean, if she did back in the 70s,
I don't think
60s and 70s when everybody was doing it. But, I don't know.
I don't think she does any of that.
Seems to have had a clean life.
I think she's a vegan, and she's on keto, and she doesn't drink, doesn't smoke,
She
or
has
any of
a-
that stuff.
I mean, she is very active every day. I
Yeah.
mean, she's one of those that
Exercises.
does not sit down. She's very active. She's very active in her community. She does a lot of charity projects. I mean, she did have the old seniors prankster show on for a little
Oh,
while.
God, yeah, I remember that.
That was on about a year and a half ago.
That's right.
Where where the old seniors went around and pranked people.
You remember that?
I didn't see it.
Oh, God, it was funny. Her and a bunch. And I mean, she would find your regular, old, ordinary senior citizens out.
Nursing home people.
And in the world, and they would go around and they would do strange things to young people and middle-aged people. and it was so funny to watch because one would, have, an episode where the wheelchair ran away from the patient. It was just one of those weird shows that was interesting as possibly believed.
It's kind of like Punk'd with Betty White.
I can see her doing that. I just
She
know
said-
I didn't watch it, so I didn't know anything about it. Because I'm still trying to catch up on a lot of other shows at this point.
Well, they had an
Yeah.
old man with a trench coat that walked around and said, "Hey, you want to see what I got?"
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
But he
Kinda
had
like,
he had on
Benny
swimming
Hill?
he had swimming trunks and stuff on underneath them. But the way he walked, it looked like he didn't have anything on underneath. And then he was like, "Hey, you want to see what I got?"
Yeah.
Like 70-something-year-old man. I'm like, "Oh my God."
But yeah, she
they're the ones that are doing that stuff.
yeah. Well, she got me hooked on Vampire Diaries. I said I'd never want to watch it, and I still have issues with it because, okay, you get stabbed in the heart, you don't go poof, you just look weird.
You know,
I
you
saw you
withered.
posted that.
I'm like, what the heck? I want to. Every vampire show and movie I have ever seen, you stab someone in the heart, either A, they disintegrate, or they go up in flames. These guys just like, and then they just die.
But are you a Stefan or a Damien fan?
I'm Team Damon.
There are the.
There's only one reason why, because my buddy, Jamie Kelly, can cosplay Damon to a T. He was taking pictures with the guy that plays Stefan and the guy that plays Damon, and you couldn't tell them apart.
Ian Says Mazer and Paul Wesley. Yes, I know who they are.
You suck.
Yeah. Well, I think Damien's
I do not know. I have no clue. So it's just like people talking about the Tiger King. I have no clue. I have not seen it.
My daughter's
The who?
the Tiger King. My daughter's begging me to watch the
I
Tiger King.
am not going to watch the Tiger King. I've read about that, and I'm like, no. It's all about...
It sounds like a train wreck.
It is. I mean, it's all about Carol Baskins, and she
killed her husband.
You know,
well, no, she killed her husband, yes, but the deal is she is doing the same thing Joe Exotic is doing, where he basically breeds the tigers, raises them, and exploits them for money. She gets mad at him going after him, trying to get him shut down, when she's doing the exact same thing.
He's in jail. In fact, they reached out to the Trump administration to try to get him pardoned. That was actually on the news conference today.
Oh, wow.
Trying to get that guy from the Tiger King that's in jail out of jail. It was on the news conference today.
And the thing is, Carol Baskins,
on.
she killed her husband because she doused him with some type of oil and fed him to the tigers.
Probably sent him through a wood chipper first.
Yeah, that would have been the best thing to do, but, I mean, you're really not going to find anything when you feed someone to a tiger. It's kind of like feeding somebody to a bunch of hungry hogs that haven't eaten in like a week.
Well, or 25 minutes.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, bones and all, horrible. Gone. They're like piranhas.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it just makes you wonder
I know,
about why they would put this on, but yeah, it was on today during the coronavirus update that one of the stupid press asked the question. They talked to Eric, and Eric said that he thinks that he would be a good person to get pardoned. Like, and President Trump looks at him, kind of like, really? What the hell is this shit?
Right. He'd probably be like, who the hell is Joe Exotic? Sounds like a stripper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, like I said, it just made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. I ain't going to watch it. I've already read stuff about it, and I'm just like, this looks stupid. Why are people like, oh, it's the best thing? No, it's why? I don't even see why it would capture people's attention. And it's a
because
series.
It's a train wreck.
Oh, it's more than a train wreck. It's kind of like that Letterkenny show.
It's like Joe Dirt turned upside down.
Have you ever seen Joe Dirt?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I saw part of it.
It's a space peanut.
Well, that guy reminds me of a screwed up version of Joe Dirt.
Hey, I love that. The lavatory released on the plane, and all the crap basically crystallizes and turns into looks like a meteor. And it fell out from the sky, and it landed on the ground. Well, Joe Dirt walked up to him and goes, it's a space peanut! It's basically crystallized shit. And he's, like, eating food on it. He's squeezing his ketchup on it, eating his fries. I'm like...
Yeah, I just can't handle him. He plays the same role almost in every movie.
What's his name?
David Spade?
Yeah, that's it. David Spade.
David Spade. Yeah,
I loved him in Tommy Boy.
David Spade plays the same role.
Tommy Boy was my favorite with him in it.
Yeah, he's interesting. So, when you started investigating, what was your most frightening experience on an investigation?
A long time ago when the Sally House was a hot place to go, I had a chair thrown across the basement at me, not once but twice.
Ow.
2 different times. That was scary. The first time I was there alone. There was no one that was supposed to be there with me or anything. Ron was sick. And I was just sweeping up the floor, cleaning up the dead wasps and stuff. And because house had bugs.
Yeah.
And so when it came across at me, it was like, okay, I'm going to go upstairs, because I was expecting a bunch of people there for an investigation. I was supposed to be there for an investigation with all these people. And so I had to get myself all calmed down before they got there. And the second time, it was before a day tour, and I was down there getting stuff set up, and I was putting in a light in the basement, in the hole in the basement, so people could see in there, so that they didn't have to, lean over too far and get all dirty.
Right.
So I put a light in there for them, and as I was pulling out some chairs for stuff, here comes this fold-up chair across the room at me again. I was like, okay, and I ran upstairs, and I told Ron and Gary and Matt, and we had a few volunteers. They were all sitting outside. I'm like, they were waiting for people to come so they could take their tickets. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again. I didn't go down the basement by myself for a while after that.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stop me from going. It just it made my heart race. I was wide awake the rest of the day. I can say that.
Right.
But yeah, this was like 5 minutes before we started letting people in the house. So that was kind of scary. At Malvern Manor, the first time we went, I had it was a half inch thick pointy drill bit.
Ooh.
Thrown at me in the office. It's where where they now have a museum type area there.
Oh, okay.
But I was in the office, and I was changing because I didn't have on enough clothes to be walking around in there, because it started snowing.
Right.
And we had driven up there, so I didn't have enough clothes on that. You're not going to wear a lot of clothes in the car. So I had taken off my shirt, and this drill bit comes across the room at me, and then something scratched my back enough to where I had blood.
Ooh, okay.
And they didn't have that history then, okay? This was prior to anyone seeing it on TV. So this was before Paranormal Lockdown was on air.
Right.
They had just been there, and they were just allowed to release the information that Paranormal Lockdown had been there. And when I came out, Josh Hurd says, that's been happening since they left.
Who's they?
So, Nick Roth and Katrina Weidman.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, so after they left, so it's not just after Ghost Adventures goes someplace that the energy sometimes ramps up because of provocation. It ramped up after they were there. So
makes you wonder
Nick
why,
Roth
right?
and Katrina. Yeah, it does make you wonder why, because there's some things you don't see
Mm-hmm.
on the 42 minutes of stuff that they're sharing.
Right.
There's some stuff, we know a lot of times that stuff doesn't happen
Mm-hmm.
when you're on an investigation. Here I am going, I've never been here before, I know no history, and this is before we even did our walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
We were waiting for our guests, the people we invited to come, to show up, and I'm sitting there going, my cousin shows up, and she hadn't seen me since she was like 10 years old. And the first thing she gets is, oh my God, I've been scratched by a spirit, and this drill bit was thrown at me.
Oh, jeez.
First time she sees me since 1998.
Wow.
And this was a few years ago. So needless to say, that was a weird way to see your cousin for the first time.
Yeah. We can certainly relate to that. When we were filming for Paranormal Journey into the Unknown, we were at the industrial slaughterhouse, and we had an investigator with us, and we were actually getting 5-inch deep weld sockets thrown at us, and she got hit in the back with, it looks to be a 5-inch or 6-inch piston. Hit her square in the middle of the back. That was some crazy stuff right there.
Mm-hmm. Believe me, I understand. It sucks.
Yeah. But
it sucks that once you're marked in one place, it seems to follow you everywhere you go.
See, that's the thing we're trying to figure out with Sammy. Everywhere we take her, she gets her ass kicked. Literally. I mean, we went to Waverly, she got scratched on her shoulder. We took her to Octagon Hall, I was watching the scratch develop on the top of her arm. It went under her Apple Watch and right across the top of her hand. Me and Chris Houston are watching this happen right then and there. Thank God it's on camera. But yeah, we could actually watch the scratch actually appear. And, we took her to Nestor Slaughterhouse.
That's odd.
Yeah. And we took her to the slaughterhouse. She got her butt kicked. Where else did we take her? She got her butt kicked.
Let's see. We went to Waverly.
Yeah.
We went to Octagon Hall.
Yeah.
We did
Industrial Slaughterhouse. Where else?
I think that's the only time we've investigated with her was those
that's
three.
It?
Yeah.
Oh.
See, what's strange about when I get scratched, they're in places that I can't even reach.
Yeah. Paula got the same thing at Malvern. It's right in the center of her back, below the bra strap. She can't reach that far. Straight on down the back in Hank's room.
And the thing is like I said, mine was in the office. So this is the office where you go to pay for your stay and all that other stuff, where they have all the T-shirts and stuff that you want to buy. Now, back then, not so much. But you did just see James on the show. What show was that? Was James on? Oh, it was on Haunting in the Heartland.
I haven't watched that.
With Steve Sippy.
No.
And James has had some strange experiences there in Malvern. So, because they had his house actually on the show with his girlfriend, a fiance. And, James has told me a lot of things, since the first time I went, after the first time, it's open season on history. It's open season on, hey, you can tell me anything you want. Now I'm going to remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But, only thing I can tell you about Waverly Hills is where it's at. I don't know anything about their haunting there because I don't want to know. I want to go in blind, and so that's how I am. The first time we went to Malvern, we went in blind. We had no clue. Only thing we had going for us was Rick Rose telling us about some of his experiences there.
Right.
Because he was helping us out with tours at the Sally House. And Steve Hayes had told us that it felt like the house had been picked up and dropped while he was in it. Him and his team filming for True Ghost Stories.
Right.
And so I was like, wow, that's weird. But, back then, you could have, we were being invited to all these places, but it was always in September and October while we were doing tours at the Sally House. I mean, how many times did I tell you, nope, that weekend we're doing the Sally House. Nope, that weekend we're doing the Sally House.
Yep.
And I mean, that's all I wanted to do. For 7 years, I did not care if I was invited somewhere. If I was supposed to be at the Sally House, I was going to be at the Sally House. If I was supposed to be at at McPike Mansion, that was the only time I would take off from the Sally House was to go to McPike Mansion.
Man, we still have not been there.
Well, the last camp out, maybe. She says that this might be the last camp out. So if anybody's wanting to go and camp out there, this will be the last time that's available, most likely, because Sharon and George are getting up there. I'm not saying that they're old because they're not old, but it's getting harder and harder for them to take care of the place.
Right.
But that last camp out, I'm hoping it's not, because I work my butt off when I'm there. It's going to be October 24th, $35, no alcohol or drugs, adults only, and we have a great time. It'll be me and Ron, Coyote Chris Sutton, of course Sharon Ludke, and Sandy Little Lizard is the medium that scared the living crap out of Zach, and Igor the Bat also scared them down the stairs. Igor's always there, which we love Igor for that. And then the guy who owns Mineral Springs Hotel, or not owns, he's the kind of like the gatekeeper.
Right, right.
Dave Nunley and his wife Donna, they're coming out.
Okay.
to hang out with us. And so it's going to be like a mini Paracon, but you get to spend the night and have hot dogs and get to check out the parts of the mansion that you can check out, the outside and the wine cellar.
Yeah.
And Sandy leads all the events, and everybody seems to always come out saying, "Oh, did you see that? And did you see this? And I had this happen, and I had that happen." And I haven't had anybody say that they didn't have a good time. This last year, we did a drum circle
Mm-hmm.
in the basement for our friends that had passed. One of the guys, Jerome Minks, died while I had my collapsed lung, and
Nice.
and another lady died, Tiffany, another woman that was a volunteer there as well. She passed suddenly just after the camp out a few years ago. So that's what we are. We did. We're going to do another drum circle this year with Coyote Chris Sutton, and I think everybody, if you want to come, reach out to me, let me know, and I'll get you the information. But McPikeMansion.com is the best place to go. So far, I hope that happens this year.
Yeah, we
with
don't...
all the things being canceled.
I know,
we don't
right?
know, but
Yeah. No idea. I mean, we've got a bunch of events that are scheduled for us, and not really sure what's going on. So,
yeah, the one one we were gonna do, they canceled.
Yeah, the one in July.
The one down there.
Yep.
The one in July. And I don't blame them on that. Nobody's wanting to spend money on an event that they don't know if it's going to happen.
Right, exactly.
So it makes it hard, and planning it out for 2021 might be a better idea.
Oh, yeah.
So
most definitely.
they got a lot of time to get the fee house some more exposure between now and then, and maybe people will want to come down a little bit more to Conway, Arkansas. And you guys got Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, right?
Yeah. Yep. I haven't heard anything about it being canceled, so I still think it's still going.
But I'm not booking my hotel until the end of June or 3 weeks ahead. So,
yeah.
Because we done told her we're not going to book until it gets closer to see if it's going to even happen.
Right.
Well, right now I know that I talked to Pamela and Steve. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when I talked to them. I had them on my show. So far, it's still a go.
Okay.
I know that HanaCon in Omaha, that was moved. It was supposed to be like last week, and they moved it to the same weekend as the Van Meter Festival, which is the last weekend in September.
Oh, okay.
So they're just right across right down the highway from each other. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but it'll be interesting to see which conferences make it and which ones don't this year.
Well, I know July, September, and October we got events that are booked. Right? That's it? We don't have anything in August?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. July, September, and October is what we got. I mean, we got... you knocked that over.
We are planning on going to Alton for June 13th on the 12th and the 13th of September, or 12th and 13th of June. Their Haunted Road Media Paracon is going to be at Mineral Springs Hotel.
Right.
So we're planning on going to that, but mostly because Sharon's it's my birthday weekend, and almost every birthday for the last 10 years we've been in Alton. So we're going to go out and help her with the tour that she has. She has a Flag Day tour.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to go do that while other people are doing the nighttime stuff at Mineral Springs. So that's if it happens. If it doesn't, maybe we'll just go to St. Louis and see Ron's mom. But it is what it is.
Is that
we'll all figure it out as we need to.
Is that the same weekend the new Ghost Hunters are going to be there?
I don't know. I hope not.
Okay, because we've been getting asked to go to the Mineral Springs Hotel to meet all the new Ghost Hunters, including Grant. I'm like, we're actually going to be filming that weekend, but I don't know. We've been moving stuff here and there, so I don't know. We might have to switch things around a little bit, but if we got it open, they're like, yeah, you need to come out and hang out with us. I mean, I've already talked to almost everybody on the team, except for Grant. He's hard to get a hold of.
Well, I don't go to events because of who they have going. I'm going to support the friend that's putting it on.
Yeah.
In my case, I'm going to support Mike Ricksecker and Haunted Road Media.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, he printed me up in a book. That could be part of it.
That's cool.
I do have one of my stories in one of his books. And I've always liked him. He's always, if I needed a guest in a hurry, he was always right there to jump in and help me with stuff. So, because he supported me, I'm supporting him. Like I said, yeah, it's great that, Amelia Cotter's going to be there. Found out that her and I went to the same high school, probably 10 years apart, but we have a lot in common. Of course, I've already said Coyote Chris Sutton. I've known him over 10 years at this point, and, so for me, it's like going home.
Right.
Going to Alton. And it doesn't matter to me who the guests are. They're not people want to think, I'm not real big into para-celebrities.
Right.
They put their pants on the same way we do. I mean, if they found a better way to hover in, let me know. I'll try. But, but I'm not real big into paranormal celebrities. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's great.
I know.
I'm speechless because that was funny. Oh, boy. So, let's see what we got here. Paula, you have any questions?
Do you mentally prepare yourself before you go into an investigation?
Well, sometimes I have to, because sometimes I have a bad feeling before I go, and I think something's going to happen, so I kind of have to put myself in the right frame of mind before I go. And then other times, I don't. I think it depends how many times have I been at the location, things like that. If I really know the location, sometimes I really have to get myself in the frame of mind, because the spirits have already come to me and told me stuff that was going to happen.
Huh.
Always, before we go any place that's haunted, even if I don't know that we're going, 5 to 7 days before, I get a visit from the spirits to tell me what I'm going to see. So we could plan on going to just a random hotel that we booked to go just to get out of here. And if it's haunted, the spirit's going to tell me before we get there.
Huh.
So it's fun. I have Ghost Radar, and not the cheesy kind that's free.
It's not an app.
Not an app.
Oh, wow.
So I don't need Wi-Fi for it to work.
That is, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's just kind of interesting that before you even get to the location, that the spirit's actually going to tell you, hey, watch out. That's crazy. So,
like I said, there's times that it's 100% correct, and other times I will see stuff, and while we're there, I'll see it, the same thing. When we were on our way to Alton for the Haunted Road Media Paracon the first time we went, I had a visit from Pearl, but she kept telling me that she doesn't like that name. She likes Lorene.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know anything about her, and so we go there. You know what? We didn't have anything happen in Pearl's room, and we didn't really have much of anything really happen, except for down when we were with Chris down by the spring. We were having some shadow figures and stuff down there, but you've got too many. Let's go with too many untrue legends being passed around.
Oh yeah.
In the location. The good thing is Dave not only is fixing that by explaining, telling what they've researched and found out to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like that about him. But yeah, I'm not saying it's not haunted. I'm just saying, hey, the spirits are probably busy with somebody else that had been in the room, or somebody had irritated them from one of the other two groups.
Right.
No, there's 4 groups. So, and we were left to our own devices because our tour guides had left.
Oh,
so,
nice.
so we had to figure out what was going on in 2 of the areas after our tour guides had left. So that wasn't fun on that part, but we did the best we could
mm-hmm.
in the upstairs and in the pool area without our tour guides. So,
yeah.
And we were getting yelled at to leave because we didn't know what time we were supposed to be over there. Our tour guide had left. So we had some interesting things happen though. One of the girls that was with us, her ankle bracelet, she said it felt like it was pulled off her ankle.
Oh wow.
And it was hot though. I mean, it was hard to focus on the upper levels. It's June. It's second week in June, and it's hot and it's humid. I mean, it's right on the Mississippi River, and you're just sweating your butt off. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's still 11 o'clock at night, and we're sitting there, and it's just steamy, and so no wind to be found. So it's kind of hard to focus when it's that hot. And I mean, even I had sweat pouring off my lip. And I mean,
oh, wow.
I don't usually sweat, so it was bad. So last year when they had the investigation that night, we had already made plans to go have dinner with the Ludkeys from McPike Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out good because there ended up being a really bad hailstorm and
Oh, wow.
stuff, and we didn't get hit. So, but yeah, it was. If you can go to that Paracon, I suggest you go. You meet a lot of good people. It's inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
The Paracon itself is only $5, but if you decide you want to do the Friday night event and the Saturday and all day Saturday, so everything's $40. I think it was.
Right.
So it's not bad.
Yeah. The
But
first.
$5 for a paranormal conference. You tell me how many paranormal conferences you can go to for $5.
Yeah, that's true.
So
First time we've ever been there, we met Sharon, and we got to go through some of the McPike Mansion. We went in through the front door, saw the staircase, saw the first floor basically, and then we went to the cellar, and all through there, the grounds. And then when we left there, we went to the Mineral Springs. We talked to the guy that was in the tie-dye store. And,
yep, that's him.
And
That's Dave Nunnally.
Yeah, and he took us to where the pool area was, and left us.
Mm-hmm.
we had the whole Mineral Springs to ourselves while people were up on the other floor. With the museum was closed, but he had his store open and had a lot of people there. But me and Paula were just walking around. We had our cameras, and we were doing experiments here and there. We went to the big pool, went to the little pool, went up to the floors.
It's Raining Zen is open every day, I believe. I believe it's open every day.
Okay.
And Mineral Springs is not expensive to rent
Yeah.
for an overnight. And that's one of the things that impressed me. So you can rent it for, what was it, $300?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, $300 for however many people you wanted to have in there. And you get it from the time that they close the door, and you can stay until they open up the next day.
Oh.
So, and it's got heat and air.
Yeah.
And on 2 floors, and it's got restrooms. Hey, that's beating out a lot of other places.
Right. After we got
You
done,
can set your tents up in the dance hall.
after we got done with the Mineral Springs, we drove to the original Mineral Springs Hotel. And
In Colville?
I guess that's the one.
Yep.
When we got to hang out there for a few hours, they let us have full run of the whole hotel, and we walked around, and that was interesting. It was pretty cool.
You know, it's funny. The first time I went there, I was coming back from Kentucky because I had been playing Drop the Baby, you know, with my niece. And I threw out my back.
Oh.
And so we were coming back. It was during the week, which is less expensive to stay there during the week. And when I checked in, I asked the girl, I said, well, which room is your most haunted? And she goes, we're not haunted. And I'm like, you're in multiple books, you know, one by Troy Taylor and one by somebody else.
But they have a folder.
You're telling me you're...
Yeah,
they
have
do.
a folder that shows their evidence.
But they didn't then.
Oh, okay.
So this was, let's see, Leah didn't want anything to do with the haunting. Lauren did. We were in a room in the original part of the hotel that didn't burn down, and on the second floor, and all night long, you could hear somebody messing in the drawer, shuffling papers.
Oh, okay.
There were no papers in the drawer, but you could hear it all night long.
Huh.
And the most uncomfortable bed ever. It was a saggy mattress.
Oh, wow.
But it was only $60 a night for me and Lauren and Leah to stay there. And we went swimming in the pool. I actually went back into the mineral springs, you know, and got to take a mineral bath back in there, and then hit the sauna. And it was worth it. I'm going to tell you that. It was worth it for that. And they give you a jug of mineral water to take home to drink.
Oh.
I didn't drink it. But they did give me a jug of mineral water. And, you know, we ate in the restaurant downstairs as well. They had really good food. But all the activity we had happened to be in our room. And I had left a recorder going when we left. And you can hear us walk out of the room, and then you can hear somebody talking, but I don't know if it's from somebody in the hall or whatever, but I'd left it going.
Right.
And then I left it going all night and found out there was nobody on the floor that we were at.
Oh, wow.
They were all on the other side where it's more like a motel outside. And so there was nobody down our hall. But that didn't mean that when we were at dinner that people weren't walking around checking the place out.
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, it's an interesting place. We stop in O'Callville at Dairy Queen. Every trip is going across 64 at Dairy Queen. It's got the weirdest bathroom ever.
Okay.
So it does. It's skinny. It's the skinniest bathroom. If you're bigger than, say, 250 pounds, you may not be able to use the women's restroom.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, the last time we were there, it was funny. We were coming from McPike in October. We were heading down to Birmingham.
Okay.
We were heading down to Birmingham. That was when we drove through your town. And I get a phone call. I had a concussion. I remember that. I had a concussion. I was so sick.
Oh, wow.
I get a phone call from a friend telling me that his girlfriend was in labor. And I was so excited. So I remember that trip very well because of that. So, and he's a paranormal friend.
Right.
So it was so fun to be hearing from him and that the girlfriend was in labor because, you know, he wanted me to know because of all the stuff we went through last year. So, but O'Callville is an interesting place, but if you're going to go out there to stay during the week. It's less expensive. It's double the price on the weekends if you're staying overnight.
Yeah. I'm still trying to remember, where did we go eat when we went to the Mineral Springs?
It was a sandwich place down the road.
It was really good sandwiches. I'm trying to think of the place it was.
It's like a block and a half from the Mineral Springs across the street.
Yeah, that's it. Block and a half across the street.
Yeah.
Not Casey's?
It might been. All I know is that you went inside and it was like a sit-down restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, Casey's is just a fast food, not fast food. It's a convenience store.
Oh, no.
A place where you can sit down.
This was a restaurant.
Yeah, it was good sandwiches. Yeah. I mean, I was like, holy crap, this put Subway to shame.
Oh, well, everybody puts Subway to shame.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Well, I grew up in Maryland and New Jersey, and New Jersey has some of the best subs ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just, Subway's got too much sodium in their meat.
Oh. That I did not know.
I'm a little picky. So, but I like Jersey Mike's. They're pretty good. And then we have a place out here called Jersey Boys.
Oh, okay.
So, but again, that might be the growing up in Paterson, New Jersey kind of thing. So.
We got Ding
Did you guys
Dong,
watch the
Jimmy
Holzer?
John's. Huh?
Oh. Did you guys watch any of the Holzer Files?
No, I haven't seen it yet. That's the one with Dave.
Dave Schrader?
Yeah.
And Cindy Kaza.
Yeah, I haven't
And I
seen.
forgot the other guy's name. I don't want to say Sean, but I don't remember his name for sure. But a couple of the places that they went, I've been. Funny thing, on school field trips.
Oh, jeez.
One was the USS Constellation in downtown Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
And me and what's funny is Pamela Berry had a similar experience on the same ship that was very similar to mine.
Oh. Okay. What was it?
So she was there with I saw a man in there. He was like a 15-year-old boy, so he would have been a cabin boy on the same floor that when they do the show, you'll see it. And he just kept coming up to me. But the thing is at that time, this is like in 1976.
Okay.
Okay, so before I was born, before I was born in 1976, I was there, and I saw this. But the thing is because I was there with school friends, on a school field trip, I couldn't react because of the weirdness. I was the weird kid, okay? Let's be honest. I was the weird kid. And so I didn't want people to think I was weirder. But, yeah, I mean, he came up to me and he kept trying to drag me to another part of the ship on that floor to show me stuff. Pam's was, hey, they kept telling her to sit on the bed. So, a little bit different, but very similar in the same ship. But then there's this place in Paterson, New Jersey that they went to. It's up on top of Garrett Mountain. I can't remember the name of the place to save my life, but when they showed it on TV, I was like, I've been there. And Ron goes, when? I said, back in 1973, 74. I said, my school was just down the street. And I had told my mom stuff about that place back then. I would have been 7 years old. So I would have told them about it and been told to don't tell anybody about that. So it's a really interesting place to check it out. It's on Garrett Mountain in Paterson, New Jersey. So it's weird. I saw this woman in there, and they've been saying that they see her all the time there. And there was a man that I saw there. He was kind of darker. His eyes were, his eyebrows were really heavy.
Okay.
Not that they were hairy, that they were thick, like a shelf. Like you look at him and his forehead really just stuck out.
Okay.
I don't know, like maybe somebody beat him in the face with a baseball bat and shoved his nose back.
Oh wow.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I remembered this. I mean, this is, you figure I was 7. I know I'm only 29 now, but that's a long time ago to remember.
Right.
I know my math is stuck, doesn't it?
Yeah. I was sitting here going, wait, what?
I tease all the time that I'm actually 54, and I'm fine with my age. I don't look as old as I am.
My mom will go ahead and tell everybody, I'm 25. And theoretically, she is 26. No, wait, 27. She's 27 now. Literally, she's 27.
Oh.
She's leap year.
Oh. Well, then she's got it made then.
Yeah, she's 27. I'm going to be 48. Hey, I got it right. I'm going to be 48.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people all the time I'm 29, and I don't know how my daughter got to be older than me. So, actually, 2 of them are now older than me.
Oh, wow.
So I said, how in the hell does that happen? But no, like I said, I know that I'm 54. I'm not delusional, but I do tease people a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I've had a lot of experiences. I've had experiences. This year will be 51 years.
Man.
I've had experiences.
All I can say for me is, since we have been investigating and for six and a half years, I have been pushed, tugged, tripped, slapped, scratched, kicked by unseen forces. I'm proud to say that. I can say it.
Well, Paula's probably just kicking you in your sleep and telling you it wasn't me.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, there was just one time. Yeah, there was just one time we were at the Massachusetts County Courthouse filming for season 2 of Paranormal Journey into the Unknown, and it was only us, Jack and Juanita, and that was it. And basically, they were down at base camp, and then we had a reporter show up, and it kind of freaked her out because she was just like, "This is it. This is what you guys do?" And I'm like, "Yep. You gonna have fun?" So she was like, "Yeah, okay." So they're down there at base camp. Paula decides to walk around the courthouse with her phone, and she's gonna do a Facebook Live. So I'm like, "Okay, well, hell, I'll do the same thing, but I'll start on the other side of the courthouse." So I'm on Facebook Live, and I'm walking around, and then we both meet up. We both are doing Facebook Live. We had about 32,000 people watching. And that basically combining both our streams together, and then we combined it into one. And the deal is, we had a REM pod that went off, and it's not static, it's strictly motion. And I was nowhere near it, but that sucker went off, and next thing you know, she got the camera on me, and then you see me go down the stairs diagonal carrying a $4,000 camera. Something pushed me down the stairs, and everybody on Facebook Live witnessed it. She was nowhere near me. She couldn't do it. The only thing I heard was, "Is the camera okay?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're replaceable.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But I can't believe we've known each other probably that long.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time. And it's been about 6 years, roughly.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's just yesterday in some cases, and then in other cases it seems like, like forever. And
during all that time, all this time, we have never been to the Sally house.
Well, again, like I said, I don't think it's worth the time to go.
Oh, I know now.
And someday, some way, hopefully that movie's going to come out, The Deep Darkness.
Right.
And we'll be able to talk about it some more, and I can tell you why I tell people don't waste your time. But until then, I mean, other spirits have been conjured there, but they're not the same spirits that were there when I was being harassed.
Right.
While I was being treated very badly by some spirits. I can tell you that. It's not the same. We went back after the filming was done, and we did 3 more days, 3 more tour days, and there was nothing there that, I had people come to me and go, "I don't feel anything."
Right.
Like, well, there's a reason for that. And so the people who have gone in there that say that they've had activity, I believe that they've had activity, but it's not from any of the spirits that were there before. None of the Finney family is there, and I know that. There was never really a Sally.
Right.
I know, shocking. But that's the thing. The Sally that Tony saw was something presenting itself as a little child.
Oh, okay.
To get between him and Deb. We all know that. We know that it was something not good. And it is gone. Was the portal shut all the way? I don't know. but it was at one time. And, once a portal is there, a lot of times they can be reopened by the right person.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that have gone, there's been a lot of people that have gone in there that have said, we were scared out by a demon and they ran out. There's no demon there. It was all in their head.
Right.
Or it was for show. Maybe they just wanted to go home. Left the people from the event and said, hey, we're sorry, there's a demon, we got to leave. And that definitely has happened. Of course, I'm telling you secondhand because, I wasn't there. But I will tell you, I was obsessed with that house until the day after the eclipse in 2017. I am no longer obsessed with that house. I could care less about anything that has to do with that house. But if people want to know the real history, they need to ask me. Because when it was just on Haunting in the Heartland, she just gave the legend. She did not give any facts about the family that lived in that house, the Steve Shippey. So when they were at they did Atchison, Kansas recently. They only did the Sally House for part of the show.
Right.
But, what's bad is that the people that they investigated the house for in Atchison, she's a medium. And they're paranormal investigators. They never said anything about that during the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
same as James Hurd. James Hurd is, they said that Josh Hurd was a paranormal investigator. They didn't say anything about James living at Malvern Manor and also investigating and being in 2 movies with Josh Hurd. Investigating.
So this is probably the longest NDA that you're stuck on because the show has not even come out yet.
Which one?
The Darkness one.
Yeah, The Deep Darkness has not come out, the movie.
When did you start it?
It's
filming
a documentary. It was filmed over the eclipse in August of 2017.
That is the longest NDA I've ever seen.
You want to know why? Because they wanted to do a post-mortem, and nobody in Atchison will talk to the film crew now.
Oh, okay.
I will talk to the film crew, and they want to talk to me, but it's probably going to end up being over Skype because the guy who did the drone footage and stuff for them, and the main guy that's in the movie that interviews me throughout it, we've all had health issues since then. It had one thing after another, and before they even got up there to film, we all had stuff that happened in our homes and things like that tried to stop us from going up there, to try to stop us from doing it. But since then, it's like we've been cursed as far as health issues go. I'm not saying it's paranormal. I'm just saying it's a weird coincidence that, poor Steve Hayes has had a lot of lung issues. Me, I've had, lung issues, pleurisy. My mom died. Ron's dad died. My granddaughter died. We had all these things. So you got all these things that's keeping this from happening.
Right.
So am I saying it's paranormal? No, it's life.
Coincidental.
Life got in the way of getting it fixed. But a hurricane hit right after they got home, and they live in Florida. The main guy lives in Florida where the footage is at.
Wow.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, it was 2 hurricanes in 2017 that hit that part of Florida. And they ended up without power for 8 days on the first one, and I think 6 days on the second one. And that, a lot of times once you lose that momentum, and this, sometimes once you lose that momentum, it's hard to get back into it.
Right.
So at some point in time, he's going to reach out to me again and say, hey, I'm coming to Atchison, and somehow, some way, he's going to cancel again. He's booked this trip 3 times, and each time had to cancel.
Wow.
Hi. So it's weird. So, like I told him, I said, you're probably just going to have to either do it through Skype, or I run out and meet up with Steve Hayes, and Steve Hayes and I and Ron just do it wherever it is he wants, and somewhere between here and Whiteman Air Force Base.
Wow.
Because that's where they live. It's going to get done. Just when.
Sooner or later.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm willing to go by Skype, do a Skype interview. Let's get it over with. I sent him the information on what happened to me the morning after the eclipse. We had, we had totality in Atchison, but all around here we had flooding. The morning after that, we had tornadoes, we had hail, we had all kinds of stuff because it went from being warm to cool to warm again. So kind of like we had 2 days in one day, and we had the strangest flooding. I mean, especially in August, that's not normal. But they had a lot of things happen that coincides with what I told them happened here at my house, not related to the weather, but related to the spirits.
Right.
So I feel like when I found the Sally house way back when in 1994, and I kept saying, I want to go up and check that out. I want to check that out. I didn't know that Atchison was only an hour and a half away from where we lived.
Yeah.
I didn't. We didn't have the internet. Until we moved over here to Kansas, we didn't know. And we're still an hour and a half away. But, as the kids got older, it was like, hey, we're going to go up here, we're going to check this out. Do you kids want to go? And we took them on a tour, a trolley tour. We didn't take them to the Sally house to start with. And the minute I saw it, it was like, okay, I've got to figure out a way to get in here all the time without having to pay. So I volunteered.
Right.
And I became obsessed enough to the point where I have over 1,000 pages of data on that house, on the people that lived in the house. I can tell you where the existing Finney family members live.
You got infatuated with it.
Yeah. No, well, if you ask Zach Baggins, I was oppressed by that house.
Oh, Lord.
But no, I feel like there was a reason that I was there. I was there to help the spirits in that house some way, somehow. And I feel like I did. Because why would suddenly the entire obsession that I had with researching that house go away? Completely go away.
True. The only other reason is because they were, more comfortable with you. They knew that you could see them. So they were more apt to stay communicating with you because you could actually communicate with them. In other words, I mean, you're able to see them, you can talk to them. So they're like, hey, it's kind of like that one movie that we watched a long time ago called Ghost Town, where the dentist wind up getting hit in the head with an air conditioner. And next thing you know, someone's walking across the street and it's like, hey, mind your own business. It's like, wait a minute, you can see me? And then once that person tells everybody else that he can see him, then he becomes a major ghost magnet.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like Whoopi Goldberg in
Ghost?
In Ghost.
Yeah.
And then Michael J. Fox in that movie.
Oh, Frighteners?
Where the guy carves the numbers. Yeah.
That movie was awesome. I loved it. They're supposed to make a Frighteners too, but I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird movie. But yeah, I just thought that was funny that he used the spirits to help him with, that he would have them haunt people's houses so he could make money.
No, I know, right? the chicken walking by itself, and then he wound up having his little baggie. Oh, I caught it! Disposes it down the disposal. Oh, they're gone. Great. Thanks. I'll send you the bill.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Oh.
Michael J. Fox at one point did some of the funniest movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
I miss a lot of his movies at this point, but yeah, it could have been that, but like I said, I just feel like there was a reason that I was there, and it's because they knew that I could help them. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know how they knew or maybe they were pushing me to find out. But like I said, I haven't researched anything on that house since then.
Well, I mean, you went in and started talking to the spirits, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So they figured right then and there that you can see them, because you were probably looking directly at them when you were talking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I first went in there, honestly, I went in there thinking that the story on a haunting was true.
Mm-hmm.
That the story on any other story I had seen about it, that they were mixed, that they were putting all these stories together, that they were all true.
Mm-hmm.
When we first went in the house, there were signs on all the walls that told about things that happened in this room and that room, and you know, the one that got me the most interested was you couldn't go in the basement. There was a rope across it with a sign that said "Do not enter," but up on the door it had a sign that said, and the lady that lived here fell down the stairs and died at the bottom of these stairs.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, you know that that's something that you can find out.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that was the first thing that got me involved in researching it. It's like, okay, well, if this really happened, who was it?
Right.
You know, and then that's when I found out that the lady of the house, Agnes Finney, had died. She's 70 some odd years old, and she died of an illness, no falling down the stairs. They had stories in the house that there was a spirit here named Brandon that had the mind of a child, but he was a grown up, and it's like, well, where in the hell did he come from? You know? And so basically, when we took over doing tours, we took all these signs down.
Mm-hmm.
We would tell people, you know, factual things about the house, about people that actually truly lived there, how many people had lived there since, you know, nobody lived here since 2004 when they opened it up for paranormal investigating, you know, and what about this person and what about that person? You know, and I mean, I went out and I found every phone number that was ever listed to that house because, you know, back before now, most people had landlines.
Right.
If somebody moved in, they had a phone number in their name for that house.
Or unlisted.
So I found all these phone numbers for people, and some of these people, you know, had made it on other shows. So I mean, I was able to validate a lot of them.
Right.
And so, you know, and I had the book that was written by Deb and Tony Pickman to go off their experiences. And their experiences were more realistic than the stuff that I was finding on the stuff that they were telling us that we had to tell them.
Right.
And I told our manager at the time, I said, if I can find facts, can we change it out with these are the legends that go along with this house, but these are the facts about, and she said yes. You know, because you had the town's legend that was made up by a mayor that, you know, a past mayor a while ago, back in like 1994.
Right.
That, you know, a doctor lived in the house and that a little girl died from a botched appendectomy because a doctor lived in the house. Okay, well, that could be found out because they kept saying it was this year, and, you know, and that was the year that they started keeping death records.
Right.
Guess what? There was no Sally, no name, no child that matched the description of what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this doctor was in the local newspaper because he was a well-loved doctor. He ended up being mayor. So that tells you right there that there was something.
Yeah.
But not that. You know, they also neglected to tell everybody that a doctor actually lived in the house next door after that. You know, and I found out this, and I found out, you know, every house they owned, they were landlords. They owned a bunch of houses on the 2 blocks. So it's quite possible that any of these houses that he owned could have had, you know, any one of the Finney family members haunting it as well.
Right.
You know, there was a story that there was a tunnel that led from this house, you know, the actual Sally house, to the house next door. I said, but why would they put in a tunnel from a house built in 1872 to a house built in 1905. That doesn't make sense. Why would you do that?
Smuggle somebody from one house to the other?
It wasn't even far. It wasn't even deep enough to where you would be able to put a tunnel. If you did, you'd see everybody's heads as they're walking walking through the yard. Okay? Just see their heads. There was and the thing is they said the tunnel was here. Well, it was a window well. Okay. And I'm like, okay, people, so basically I spent a lot of time debunking stuff, such as, the family lived in the basement while they were building the house. I said, why would they live there when they owned a store down on the waterfront? Why wouldn't they have lived above their store? Like a little house on the prairie.
Right.
And I asked these questions, and, the historian for the town wouldn't talk to me.
Right.
Ever. He didn't want nothing to do with haunted anything. So basically I went in there and I dispelled everybody's legends and gave them truth. And since we left in September 30th, 2017, we haven't been back in the house. We've been to Atchison. Well, I've been to Atchison one time. Ron's been up there a few times because he has to go to Walmart up there for his work.
Right.
But I've been up there one time, and we didn't go down by the Sally house. Didn't care. But it is what it is. People need to research these stories that they hear. It doesn't matter where it is. They need to research them and question them. Don't take the tour guide's words for everything. Check them out.
Yup.
Ask questions. Be critical. If it looks like that the house has been added on to 5 times, are we in the original part of the house? Or is this the part that was added on to later? Because, you can tell by looking at a house if it's been added on to multiple times. If they tell you a fantastical story about how somebody died, ask the question, is there any proof of that? Is there a newspaper article that coincides with this? I know that that's going to irritate the hell out of most tour guides.
Oh, God, yeah.
But not me. I wanted people to ask me those questions. I mean, I had people that would ask me questions, and I would send an email with the answer when I finally found it.
I mean...
but it's important that people know the truth.
Yeah. I mean, you remember the situation that me and you had to talk about with a lovely place in Louisiana?
Yes.
Where there is no death certificate or no birth certificate for a Chloe, but yet they're running the whole Myrtle Plantation on the whole story of Chloe. Yeah, but when you bring it up to them, they'll either shun you,
escort you off the property.
They'll even delete your post off their page.
Well, it's still the truth, and whether you want to hear the truth or not, it's still the truth.
Yeah.
You can't change facts. Just because you don't like them or they don't fit into your agenda, you can't change them. They're facts.
Yeah, but they're capitalizing on a fictitious person that doesn't even exist.
Oh, I know. And because, I've researched some of that myself, just trying to, find the same stuff that Paula found.
Well, the whole situation with Mr. Winters, Ghost Adventures, he was shot on the porch, dragged his lifeless body across the parlor, up the stairs, and died on the 13th step. Okay, well, first of all, there's a lot of red flags in this because, A, drag your lifeless body. How do you do that? And
he's already dead.
And the other thing is if he's bleeding out, you're going to have this hellacious blood trail going from the porch into the parlor, up the stairs, and blood does not disappear. You can go in there with luminol, and it'll show up.
Yeah, they can only replace the floors. That's the only thing they can do is take all the floors out, and they say that those floors are original.
Yeah. See, Mr. Winters got shot and bled out on the porch, died on the porch. He never even made it back into the house.
Right.
But
and it's just like their mirror. Oh, people see faces in our mirror. Your mirror's tarnished.
It's dirty, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's dirty. And we just wash it, and then suddenly there's handprints on it.
Uh-huh.
No, it's because you guys don't realize it's just tarnished. It's an old mirror. And
Yeah.
I did see one tour that they gave. I think it was to ghost hunters, and they said, yeah, that our mirror is a little tarnished, but people still say that they see people in it behind them and things like that. Well, it's a hotel. There's people in there, a bed and breakfast.
Right.
You're going to see people. You're not going to be in there alone most of the time. So I don't know. I mean, I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical as it is, but I'm also a believer.
Mm-hmm.
So present me something that's factual, and if it's still haunted, great. I'm not saying that the Myrtles isn't haunted. I'm just saying it's not haunted by Chloe.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't know. I've never been there. I've been to Louisiana a few times, and I never had a car when I went to Monroe for work, so I couldn't go over that way. And, maybe someday we'll go, but I'm not that interested in going, knowing that if we go on a tour, we're going to have falsehoods given to us.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to charge just $3,500 to investigate and film over there. And I'm like...
That's ridiculous.
Oh, well, the first thing I told the lady, she said, well, why do you want to charge me $3,500? Oh, well, that's just the going rate for filming. I go, for filming a location that you're basically capitalizing on false information? And she's like, what do you mean? That's when I said, because Chloe doesn't exist. Click. I was like, oh, man, I wish I would have recorded that, because that would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. No matter what's going on, go take your first tour and take whatever stories they give you, but check them out.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that every place is lying to you.
Some are.
But some of them exaggerate.
Oh, yeah.
So they want it to be more fantastical than the place that you just went. Like Sloss Furnace.
Mm-hmm.
Sloss Furnace is great, but the guy that they say Slag,
mm-hmm.
the guy actually died at another steel plant, not that one.
Yeah, I've heard that story.
He's a composite. Yeah, he's a composite of something else.
Same story.
And,
yeah.
Of course, you can't investigate there anymore, but that's a whole other story.
Well, I wouldn't want to investigate there anyway because all your audio is going to be contaminated due to the highway right next door. It's out in the open.
Yeah,
so
it's outside.
I mean, you're not going to get any good EVPs. So the only way you'd actually get anything is if you're down underground. But other than that, you're not going to get diddly squat. I mean, video.
Well, right now you might.
Well, yeah, right now.
Birmingham's shut down.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
But yeah, but again, the people that are running it don't want anybody in there paranormal investigating. They basically bit the hand that fed them.
Wow, they
So
yeah, we actually were going to schedule to go there, and they were going to go ahead and charge us. I think it was $2,800 for 6 hours, and then we had to pay $50 an hour for one of their employees to stay there with us.
And then the bad part is at night that place is overrun with homeless and gangs.
Oh yeah. It's horrible.
It's awful. So, and you can only investigate there mostly during the day unless they have police out there keeping
keep all the riffraff away.
And then you also have gunshots and police sirens all the time.
God, sounds like New York.
Oh yeah. I mean, we went during the day. We had a really good time. We met up with friends there, but like I said, we had a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
And did I witness anything there? No, I didn't, but I loved walking around there. I thought it was a really neat place. Plus, Ron used to work in a steel plant, so he could tell me what stuff was.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and let you have the floor where you can actually tell the listeners where they can find you, if you have a website, if you're going to be appearing at, any events, and you can tell our listeners about your radio show, Paranormal Pride.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the guy that made me that lovely banner, thank you, Gavin, for that.
You're welcome.
So my show, The Paranormal Pride, is on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central on WBHM-DB.com. I'm on every week except for maybe if the Monday's a holiday or I'm on vacation. If you want to find me, you can find me on Facebook. You can also find The Paranormal Pride on Facebook as well. And make sure you look for the one with my face, not, Chip Coffee and Adam Berry, the other Paranormal Pride that didn't look to see if there was already one existing.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, my pride is my name, okay? My pride is my name. And so they didn't check it out. And
wow.
I will, right now, I'm not appearing anywhere. I just go to paranormal conferences. The only one right now I know of that I'm going to for sure is Mineral Springs one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only going on Saturday on June 13th. That's provided that it still happens, and I'm going to be at the McPike Mansion camp out on the 24th of October. And if anybody wants any information about the McPike Mansion camp out, just let me know, and I will give you all the information because, I don't want it to be the last one. If she doesn't get enough attendance, it's definitely going to be the last one.
Right.
But we don't want that to happen. We want to keep people coming in and getting that place built back up because they have replaced all the windows and all the doors. The roof is fixed. They're getting stuff done, and it looks great. So, but that's it.
All right. Well, it's always been a joy having you on the show. We love talking to you, and when we get a chance to meet up, we'll hang out and all that fun stuff. So...
Well, you don't have to have me on the air just to talk. You can call me anytime.
Oh, I know. I always pick up the phone and call you. We always talk. So...
Hope you have a wonderful evening.
There's Paula.
I hope you guys, too. I hope that the dog doesn't eat you out of house and home.
She was on the floor with him, and he was just... I don't know what he was doing. Biting her bun on her hair or doing something.
Well, he got a tack out of the wall. I had to go chase him down for that.
Yeah, I put staples in the wall to hold up the gate, and he pulled the damn thing apart, so he had one of the staples in his mouth that has a nail in it.
Oh.
He's a goat, I told you. What the hell? No, get over there. Now he's trying to sneak into the room over here where we are. Little shit. All right.
Of course.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, well, we're going to go ahead and close the show here. And once again, thank you for being on the show. We had a blast. And we will definitely have you on the show again maybe next season. I mean, we had you on last year.
And
so
maybe,
huh?
And maybe we can actually talk about all paranormal stuff as opposed to health and dogs and cats and kids.
Yeah, that's it. Well, hey, we did. We actually covered most of our questions. You didn't know that, did you?
Oh, well, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I put them... I'm sneaky. You answered most of the questions as I just put them on in there during the conversation we had.
Well,
I'm learning.
But next time we can... Yeah, but like I said, maybe next time we can go without the personal crap first. We can talk in person on that stuff before we put it on air.
There you go. Well, if that happens, that means I'll have to call you an hour before we go on the air.
I know. I know.
All right, well, you stay safe out there. Say hi to Ron, and we will talk to you guys later.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Good night. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, it's our pleasure. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Okay, good night. Bye.
All right, there you go, folks. You're listening to Denise Pridemore. She is with the show The Paranormal Pride, and you heard that she's on every single day, every Monday, as long as she's not on vacation. So check her out. I have a puppy that just happened to come into the studio and is now right here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this off, and we will talk to everybody later. Remember, next week we will have A&E's Ghost Hunter Brian Murray, and the weekend after that we're going to have Kristen Nunlin. Numlin? I don't remember her last name. The last name is, I gotta figure that out. I think it's Nunlin. Well, we're gonna have her on the show. So anyway, everybody, have yourself a great night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good one.